Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another day in my life. So like usual, this video is all over the place. Just all of the things that we've been up to here in our new hometown in Idaho, living at my parents' house. So I'll be bringing you around like usual, showing you the different food that we've been making, some of the stuff that we've harvested from the garden, projects that Dan's been working on around the house. You guys know that things have been crazy, to say the least, the last couple of months, and we're still just kind of settling into Idaho, living in my parents' basement, and really just rebuilding our lives. But we're kind of in this in-between hangout phase. So yeah, just gonna share what we've been up to. With all of that being said, let's hop right in. Okay, kind of random. So we're starting off in my parents' living room. Now, they wanted to change their fireplace to just a totally different vibe. So as you can see, they decided to actually add that distressed wood. So now they're adding on brick. So Dan was working on that project, and while he was doing the brick, I decided to take Logan out for a drive. Now, there wasn't a whole lot we could do on this day because as you can see, this is what I wanted to show you. It has been so smoky up here in North Idaho. The fires have been pretty crazy on this side of the country, and a lot of the smoke has settled in around here recently, and it's really eerie. I mean, it's kind of beautiful, but yeah, I'm praying for everyone who's being affected by these fires because just the smoke has been crazy. So I always make Logan a little snack before he goes down for his nap. And this has been one of my easy ones lately, using this gluten-free bread, putting on some Kerrygold grass-fed butter and some nut butter, this mixture from Costco. I add that on top, and then I drizzle a little bit of maple syrup. That's maybe a little more than I meant to use, but I spread it on and then I cut it into little pieces. Then we hung out in the living room for a little bit. I fed Logie his snack, gave him some water, and then we made our way downstairs. Now I'm actually thinking by looking at this was a different day because I'm in my pink jumpsuit. But this is pretty typical of when I put him down for his nap. I feed him his snack. You can kind of see Dan in the corner down there. They were wrestling on the ground. And I will do picking up around the room while he's kind of digesting his food. Sometimes he's reading a book. I'll change out of my maybe day clothes. I was wearing the jumper. I wanted to put on something more comfortable because then I put Logan to sleep. And I like crawling into bed with Logan and cuddling with him while he falls to sleep. I also like reading him a few books. Now bear with me. I know my footage is random. This, I think, was my breakfast on this day. I haven't done avocado toast in a while, but recently we found a really great local sourdough bread maker because I'm not making my own sourdough right now. By the way, I mentioned that I've been gluten-free. Yeah, that's only 50% of the time. And then sometimes I'm eating this really yummy local sourdough bread. Also, that's our arugula. And these are the coriander seeds that I'm about to harvest any day. Okay, I'm realizing what that footage was. So that avocado toast I had made on another day, that was the final product. But this day I used the heartier sourdough bread to actually show you how I make it. And it's pretty easy. I know I've shown this before, but I'm just showing you again. I put on butter and avocado. I always squeeze fresh lemon juice over the top. If I'm going to use cheese, I like to use goat cheese. Then I added a little bit of everything but the bagel seasoning, a little red chili pepper flakes, my chives, salt, and a little bit of olive oil on top too. Now I decided to pull this kombucha from a local kombucha place called Bear Culture Kombucha. It's so good. So even though I had the kombucha, I wanted to brew just some regular tea for later. And I just had to show you my current tea collection because I have never seen so much tea at a store as I have since I've moved here. And so I wanted to show you all of these flavors because they're all good if you can get your hands on them. By the way, Dan showed up at home with a gluten-free chocolate scone for me that day. So Dan and me and Baby P all went to go pick blueberries on this day. Now in my last video, we actually picked blueberries as well. And on this day, we had wanted to do blackberries or cherries, but something with the weather or the fires is why this farmer thinks that his blackberry bushes haven't ripened yet. So he did have ripe blueberries though, and we were out of blueberries, so we picked those. They were so good, by the way. So my sister, Logie, and her soon-to-be service dog all went to the park on this day. Now, like I said, we've been spending quite a bit of time inside because of the smoke and the fires, but we're trying to get outside, you know, somewhat, a little bit each day. And so this is what we did in the later afternoon. We just ran around, played with the pup, hung out on the playground, and yeah. By the way, I know I'm going to get asked. These sunglasses are from TJ Maxx. They're Betsy Johnson. So on this day, I decided I wanted to make some pasta. So I started off by chopping up some veggies. I think that was just mushrooms and some squash. And I sauteed those up while simultaneously sauteing some asparagus for the side. Back to the not actually gluten-free moment. I cooked up some of this pasta. Near the end of the veggies that I was sauteing for the pasta, I pulled out some kale. I chopped that up and threw that into the mix as well. I had to go out back and get some fresh basil for the pasta. And the sauce that we used was this organic portobello mushroom sauce. It was pretty tasty. I was trying to show you how crazy the smoke was. It's not really translating, but you can kind of tell. So on this morning, I decided to make some oatmeal. So I started off by rinsing my oats. By the way, I've actually been doing soaked oats and then cooking them a little bit recently when I can get it together and decide the night before I want oats. And that I think is actually the proper best way to do oats for your digestion. But this is what I did on this day. I just rinsed off the oats. I decided to cut up an apple because I wanted to make apple cinnamon oatmeal. Then I decided I had to add my favorite toppings to my oatmeal, and that is candied pecans. I love candied nuts in general. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know I have a nut dessert that I make where it's a bunch of nuts spread thin into a bar. Anyways, I love candied nuts, so I cut up some pecans and then I sauteed them on a pan with coconut oil. And then once you get them nice and toasty, and you can do this with like any of your favorite nuts, then at the end, I add in some organic maple syrup and I let that cook for a little bit, because as it reduces down, it gets like stickier and it makes the nuts candied. Also, I don't want to overdo the nuts here, but I did add some mixed nut butter again to Logie's oatmeal on this morning. He doesn't eat the candied nuts though, because he can't really chew them yet. And then look at me go, guys, doing the dishes. I had to document this since you all know full well Dan does the dishes most of the time. But look at me, putting in some elbow grease too. By the way, we harvested all of these cucumbers on this morning. It feels like our garden has kind of been a fail, but clearly it hasn't, because all of these cucumbers have been delicious. So praise God for our cucumbers and everything we've gotten out of our garden. All right, so for lunch on this day, I decided that I wanted to make some crispy veggie tacos. You guys know I love tacos so much, and people always get really mad at me for trying to claim this to a certain food group, even calling them tacos. People don't like, but that's kind of the closest to what I would describe these as. So when I sauteed my veggies, I added in this Stacy Hawkins Southwestern seasoning mix. My mom buys a lot of her spices and they're all delicious, like I mentioned in the last video. I did also make some guacamole for the side, and I ended up adding in a little bit of the Rotel tomatoes and the black beans into the veggie mix as well. Oh, and then of course I had to squeeze lemon juice into the mixture. That is something that my sister-in-law taught me. Lots of lemon juice in the beans, and totally, she's right. Be careful when you're frying tacos, because I've been burning myself a lot lately, so that stinks. But they're really, really tasty. It doesn't look that great. I realize this food does not look that appealing, but it was good. All right, so what you're gonna see now is some garden footage. After I had stepped away from the internet for a couple months and I came back, our second video, I gave you guys kind of an update on what we had been up to. And I thought when I was editing that video, that I had more footage that I couldn't find, but I couldn't find it. Well, guess what, guys? I found the footage and I wanted to share, because even going back now, it's kind of crazy to see what the garden looked like before, how much it's grown. All right, guys, so we are back in the kitchen, and on this night, I wanted to make lasagna. So Dan, my sous chef, actually figured this out. Our fry cutter that we bought last month, which is really awesome and totally worth it, by the way, you can put any veggie in there. And so that is how he chopped up our zucchini and our yellow squash for the lasagna. And then he also chopped up some onions. And then these were the different seasonings that I ended up adding when I was sauteing my veggies. You can obviously add any seasoning you like. This is just mostly what I have access to now living at my mom's. So you'll probably see Stacy Hawkins quite a few times soon. Then I added in some garlic, and I actually used the pre-chopped garlic tonight because I was tired. Speaking of shortcuts, I used both of these jars of pasta sauce and they were pretty good. then it was time to build my lasagna. So I started off by laying some sauce down, and then I just went one layer at a time. Now, tonight I was using brown rice noodles. Now, brown rice noodles aren't actually my favorite to use when I'm going for a gluten-free option. Apparently, they're not as great for you, but this is what I had on hand, so this is what I was using on this night. This was the lasagna when it came out, by the way. I did add a little bit of goat cheese to the mix. My family said it was delicious, and my mom made a side salad. Now, we're gonna flash back to morel mushrooms. Guys, if you've never heard of morel mushrooms, here they are. They're absolutely crazy, and they were delicious. We had them a few months ago. It is not morel mushroom season anymore, but I wanted to bring them to your attention so that next year when it's morel mushroom season, if you can get your hands on some, I just want to highly recommend you do that. So Dan had actually started a fire this night because he was doing some work in the backyard, and I was just observing kind of the status of all of the plants. I mentioned this before, I had never seen raspberries bloom before, so watching the whole process from start to finish was just really magical. So this, as you can see in the sky, was a pre-fire day a few months ago before Logan got his summer haircut. We were just hanging out in the backyard, playing with the hose, and it was just so sweet that I decided to capture it. This is how weird I am. I paused to literally just film and show you my new Impala socks that came with my rollerblades that I bought at the beginning of summer. Now, as you can see, we're getting farther along because look at those raspberries. I had to share this with you because it's like watching a miracle unfold. I know I always say that, but man, just watching things grow, life grow is so beautiful and life-giving. All right, so now you're coming with us to the beach. So yeah, our family made our way down to hang out in this little cove area where kids play at the lake. And it was beautiful and sunny and so fun watching Logan experience the lake again, because this is all so new to him. Does it get any cuter than baby toes in sand? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. By the way, in the spirit of being sentimental, can I say I still can't believe I have a baby now? And I can't believe that that's my baby sitting next to grandma, my mom. It's so surreal, and I'm just really grateful to be here with them. So with all of that being said, I will hopefully see you guys back here soon with another new video. Also, I'm still getting on my feet on Patreon, but I wanted to say thank you again to those of you that are still hearing my voice and those of you that have gone over, and just say again that I really appreciate it and it means a lot. And yeah, I will see you in the comment section on Patreon. All right, bye guys.